I've had a lot of complaints about the music lately, and every time I try to do a different song, even though suggested by YouTube for free, I still get dinged for copyright infringements and things of that sort. I'll be honest, I'm getting tired of that same old tune as well, so I'm gonna try something different. We're not gonna have any background music this time. Let's see how this goes. Alright, with that disclaimer out of the way, you could probably see in the background there, I am making a template for some carbon fiber, which is in part to why this video took so long to get out. For that I do apologize. Carbon fiber is just some tedious work and it requires some time. So without the background music, I'm not really sure what to do to fill the void here, or as my Dark Souls friends would say, the quote-unquote empty abyss. It's quiet, very quiet, and that is in fact what drove Artorias into madness. So in this moment, I'm not really sure if I should talk more or talk less. Let me know what you guys want. Do you like me narrating and walking you through what I'm doing, or do you just like to sit back and just watch? Or if you would also like to hear some more Dark Souls lore, I could do that too, because as some of you know, I am an avid gamer, and Dark Souls is my favorite game. And with Elden Ring coming out in 4 days, you guys may not see me for a long time. For those of you that are new, and last time I checked, I got 46 more subscribers, something like that. Yeah, we're getting close to the big 4 digits, and I'm going to give away a model kit. Anywho, when working with decals, we use a hairdryer because it helps evaporate some of the moisture, and in essence, it heat shrinks the decal down, so it just saves us a lot of time at work. And it just greatly speeds up this process. Once it's kind of fairly dry and stuck down and not going anywhere, we could start trimming. When I do carbon decals, I like to make them a little bit bigger and err in favor of having some kind of wiggle room. Because as the old saying goes, it's easy to remove material, but impossible to add it. So I just make it a little bit bigger and trim it down to exactly what I need. Once the decal's done, I'll give it a nice liberal coat of some microsol or microset, whichever one is the second in this series, I forget. And then I set it aside for 1 whole day to dry, which is what takes so long. I only get about an hour a day to work on these. Now, with a little bit of movie magic, we could fast forward to the one I did last night. This is what it looks like completed. Going forward from here, it's going to be me installing some decals, only jumping in just to give some little random tips, advice, things like that. Now, by far the easiest thing to do here is 4 little cuts in each corner, then 1 cut all the way down the middle to connect them all. So it should look kind of like an envelope, I guess. Is that a good description? Here's a pro tip. If you dip your finger in a little bit of water, decals will not stick to it. And with all the decals installed, we could finally seal them in with some clear coat. Now the great thing about the Enzo is the carbon fiber was bare and also used as an aesthetic, so it has to be pretty. So what I'm doing here is laying down coat 3 of some 2K clear. And here we are a few days later, everything's had some time to dry. Now Justin over at J Hart Model Works, he was right, which he usually is. You should listen to him. When he said this Mr. Color leveling thinner was unicorn's tears, he meant every bit of it. This stuff is straight out of the gun, no sanding, no polishing, and it laid out perfect. That stuff is so smooth and reflective that I could shave my beard in reflection if I needed to. Now I like you guys, so I'm going to give you a little sneak peek here. Another reason this took so long is, well, I did all the carbon fiber while I was there. All of the carbon fiber for this kit is done. The chassis, the monocoque, monodick, whatever you guys want to call it, the intake, that alone was 7 different decals. And finally, the headlight buckets were also done. Them and the intake were shot in a semi-gloss clear. And as an honorable mention, we also got the intake here. It's still got some masking and some painting to do, but the carbon on it's done. And the seats I showed so much of at the beginning of the video, here's what they look like. All done, ready to go. Alright, so now I'm going to lean back a bit here and just show you my workbench. It's a mess. So much carbon fiber. I'm glad it's finally done. Careful. Careful. Ah, it went over. Alrighty, now let's do that all again, this time with some adhesive in place. On the other door panel, off camera, this took maybe 10, 15 tries, but on camera I nailed it the first time. So nobody move, don't touch it, just let it be. Now, since the doors do open and you could see all of the pedals, I'm going to put some of that crazy modeler's photo etch to good use. And I assume you guys want to see how that lays out. Just a quick, simple bend, and who am I fooling? These two segments got out of sequence. This one was supposed to come first, then the other one. I don't know. I'm lazy. I'm not going to go back and fix it. Now, the pedal assembly, the throttle and the brake, we had a little bit of a problem with that one. The standoff there, it's about 2 millimeters tall, and the section they wanted me to glue down to, it's maybe a half a millimeter. I've tried a bunch of different things, and well, the number plates on the sprues, they're exactly the right height. So I'm just going to make myself a little spacer here. Then I forgot to hit record. You'll see the finished product later though, I promise. Now the pads for the dasher, this little knee bolster thing, and the bits on the door panel, they were all just painted in just bare Rosso Corsa with no clear. They got just enough sheen to give it a convincing leather look, so I stuck with it. Now if you remember in part 2, the painting and bodywork, I did not use any of the badging or the decals from the Tamiya kit. Here's why. Don't look at this. This is a future project. This is what matters. Now, oddly enough, I did mention that these were coming from Australia, and I said it would take 2 years to get here. It took 9 days. Just for reference, my Aoshima Pagani Zonda, it's been stuck in Japanese customs for 3 months. But what these are, they're just some 3D emblems, metal transfers, whatever you want to call them. I was so excited that I didn't even turn on the camera when I went to install this piece on the steering wheel. Let's zoom in so you can see what all the fuss is about. Look at that. Now these shifter paddles, they're too small, they're the wrong shape. Luckily the photo etch gave it some more accurate representation of what they should be. So yeah, point to no return. Let's cut these off. Now just like any other Tamiya kit, everything, oh wait. What was I saying? Oh yeah, just like any other Tamiya kit, everything fits together perfectly. Eventually. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Tamiya has Some of the worst decals in the model game. Now this piece, it's kind of fiddly. The instructions are not very clear. It's got 2 alignment holes, and that's it. Now there are other pins, however, they have no holes that they correspond to. They're more of kind of like alignment. Did you see the 2 in the front there? And as I had mentioned earlier, the pedal box, I had to make a little spacer. You could see it there now, just barely. It's red. I didn't paint it. Clearly visible. You guys see it? For the interior though, that is basically it. It's just a dashboard and a floor plan. No floor floor pan. There we go. It's a floor plan with some seats and a dashboard. That's still not right. A floor pan. Floor pan. Enunciation aside though, you can see how all this really fits together. And because of that, I got to do a whole lot more work on the chassis before you actually glue everything in and make it permanent. Now that, coincidentally, it will be the next video. That is it though, guys. Another video done. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end and for your patience while I got this video done. And as always though, like, subscribe, comment, blah blah blah.